In this video, I want to talk about the easiest sales that you are not making for your B2B SaaS startup. And I'm recording this having generated 8 figures in client results for B2B SaaS startups across over 100 different niches. So recently I had a situation with a client that they approached me. We had our first go-to-market strategy session, and they were not sure on how shall they be growing their startup, because this situation was the following. They have made few sales with cold email back in the days, but then they started having a lot of issues. Then they tried out a bit of Facebook ads, they tried out a bit of LinkedIn posting, but as they have never been consistent with either of the strategies, unfortunately this never got them the results that they really wanted. So that's how they quickly dropped doing all this outbound stuff, and they had some referrals and inbound coming in, also from events. And that's how they were thinking, okay, we're now at what, like 5-10 meetings every single week, so fine. But then the unfortunate situation happens when you stop getting this 5-10 incoming meetings from referrals, or the event season is not there, shout out to COVID. Or another thing is you just realize that, okay, you want to increase your expenses for you to get your startup to the next level. However, you're capped at the number of meetings that you're getting. And this is when this story gets challenging, because you want to double, triple, and quadruple in revenue. However, by having an only limited number of meetings every single week, you're kept in terms of opportunities, and that's not how you grow. Yes, sure, you can look at different things on like retention, LTV, and so on, but practically the easiest way for you to grow your business is to sell to more people. And that's why they approached me, wasn't being unsure how shall they best approach their startup's journey. And this niche that they're in is in employee training and development. And from the first glance, I really loved the contract sizes, because they vary from like couple $1,000s a month all the way to tens of thousands, which when sold to larger corporations. And that's why it was very unfortunate for me to see that, for example, for the last half a year, they were stuck at this few meetings a week, which many times were not even happening, and stuck at this like under 20k MRR level. So then one of the first things I've done was, okay, let's audit all the different channels that you previously had success with, and let's understand how the like what's already working. So we started analyzing everything that historically has worked for them apart from going to events, and we came up with the following list. So they sent a bit of cold emails with some agency, and I guess they sent something like few hundred emails a day for a couple weeks. It got them couple meetings and actually brought them a deal or two. But they then, for example, as it often happens with different agencies, once agency gets you a bit of results, then they shift their focus to landing more clients, because then they're like check the box that you are sort of satisfied and you're not gonna leave. And that's when sadly situation goes very unfortunate for you, because then you just keep paying your monthly invoices. However, you're not getting the results you were expecting, because you as a business owner, I'm sure that when you partner up with someone, you want the results to go in geometrical progression, and not like some results, then a bit of results, and then basically that's when they switch focus to helping out different other clients. So I guessed that that's exactly what happened with this agency, and indeed it has. And that's how we realized that, okay, they had some sales from cold email, they had some sales from LinkedIn, just because the founder has like thousands of followers there, and a couple people reached out to him over the years, and it got them some sales. And then the remaining ones were always coming from events. So in this case, here's the strategy I came up with. So we know that email has already worked. That's why okay, first things I do is I ask, how many emails have you sent out? Person tells me, well, few hundred. So guess what you need to do? You now send couple dozen thousand emails and make more deals from it. That's simple. And it's oftentimes that with cold email, it's basically as long as you increase the number of sending domains, you make more money. As absurd as it may sound, yet it's so simple, but it's true. If, for example, you're getting from 3 sending domains, you are getting like 1 or 2 meetings a week, then if you get 20, 40, 60, 80 sending domains, you're gonna be getting many times identically larger number of opportunities every single week. And I can't even count the number of times how often I had founders come to me say, oh, we're sending like whatever 500 emails in a week, we're getting a couple meetings and a deal every 2 weeks, and we are not sure how to scale. Within first week we 5x the number of domains, then we run them through a warm-up period, and then in 3 weeks they start making basically 4 or 5 times the meetings, which leads to 4 or 5 times the deals in couple months down the line. That's exactly what we're doing now, increasing number of domains. And the second part was that they have had some success from LinkedIn. And if you have, then do more of what works. And also, to answer the question, the easiest sales that you are not making with your B2B SaaS startup is the ones that would come from the channel that has already worked for you historically, and you are just not utilizing enough of it. Because if you were to simply increase the inputs and volume of that number of emails that you are sending, it would simply work. So next, as they have already had some success from LinkedIn, it means that they just need to do more LinkedIn. And of course, it really depends on what your pipeline situation is, because not often it's going to be as simple as doing all the channels that have worked, because sometimes you do need to focus on one channel depending on the ticket size you're selling at, the niche you're in, then how many meetings you are getting now. So if you want to clarify that, simply go to saascamp.com, where I help out B2B SaaS founders and get them to 1 million in ARR. Apply there and I'll take a look at what your situation looks like. So then for LinkedIn, if the person has had some sales from a couple thousand followers and connections, then we need to do 2 things. We need to first post more on LinkedIn to get even more followers and connections. Second, we want to start sending out outbound messages. Why I don't like LinkedIn outbound as a long-term strategy is because once you get to 5 to 10 meetings a week, you reach the cap limit. Because I have not seen, like, from hundreds of different funnels I've analyzed, I have not seen a single LinkedIn account consistently generate more than 10 meetings every single week. Just because on LinkedIn you're capped at number of connections that you can send at any point of time. And that's it. Because as you cannot send more than 30 times 7, 210, as you cannot send more than 210 connections in a week, usually hitting 50% acceptance rate, you can't go much further than that. And when you start trying to add different other accounts for LinkedIn, that's when LinkedIn doesn't like it, and you just hit this ceiling that if you start creating more accounts, like time after time they start getting banned, and you start investing more energy on managing all these different accounts that you could have otherwise spent to simply scale from 10 to 30, 40 meetings in a single week. But with LinkedIn outbound, even though I've done it, and at one point of time we've been doing like 8 to 10 LinkedIn accounts sending outbound connections, bringing us 10 to 15 meetings every week, ads scale way more sustainably. That's just the reality. And also, even cold email scales easier than LinkedIn, because there you need to manage all the proxies, all the other settings, and it's okay channel for you to get to the first 3 to 5 meetings a week, but it's definitely not in a top list for you to get from 10 to 30, 40 a week. Anyways, as this founder has been getting only 0 to 3 opportunities weekly, for now it makes sense for him. So that's why first thing we've done, we started messaging all of the connections that he already has, because for them we don't need to send out the outbound connection request. And out of 10 people currently, we are getting 2 to 3 responses and are in the booking process for the moment. My KPI would be that for every 6 replies that we get, we want to be booking a meeting, like 5 to 6 replies, one turning into a meeting, and then you can do your math accordingly. So if we get 5 replies a day, as the pipeline keeps stacking, this can be getting us 1 meeting a day, at least from the LinkedIn outbound. Then, as email has historically worked, we're gonna add cold email on top of this. So instead of us sending 300-500 emails a week as they were doing, we're gonna be mailing 1,000 to 1,500 emails a day, because that's practically the volume you want to be looking at if you want to get results from cold email in 2024 with all this crazy Outlook and Google updates that have been coming up in recent years. So as the game has become a lot more competitive there, you just need to be aware of a lot more things like Spintexes, Dekim, Demark, and like 100 others for you to get your cold email successful. Now, fine, so cold email, LinkedIn, DMing all existing connections plus adding new connections, posting on LinkedIn, and within a few weeks, I have no doubt this is going to get us from inconsistent 0 to 3 meetings a week we started with to consistently getting 10 to 15 over the course of, I'd say, 1 or 2 months. And then you get the story, because numerous times, once I got the founders selling at the same price tag, from 0 to 3 meetings a week to 10, 15 a week, while even going for a conservative close rate of 10%, you still start making and adding roughly 2 to 5K in new MRR every other week, which compounds crazy over the course of 3, 6, 8, 12 months. Right, so again, the easiest sales you're not making are the ones that are just in front of you, because they would be lying in those channels that have already been validated for your startup. And just sometimes you really simply need to do more of what works. Appreciate you watching this one. Check out my other video, which I'll link here, and have a nice day.